Hello and welcome to the Happy Hour Hustle podcast with our host, Kim Bodie.
I am absolutely thrilled to be chatting with you.
Principal and fearless leader of 834 Integrated Communication. On this podcast, you're going to learn a lot about a lot, like public relations, marketing, digital, and advertising.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Forgive us if you hear some dogs in the background. We are obsessed with them, and there is a medium-sized pack at the office at all times.
Fantastic.
So grab a glass of wine, preferably one with ice in it, and learn a little something today. Hello, hustlers! We are back after a long pause, and we're excited to get back into it. We have the lovely Kelsey with us today. She is 834's social media specialist, and we are so lucky to have her. And so I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name's Kelsey, and Emma already said it. I'm the social media specialist here at 834. I work closely with the team on our clients' social media accounts, strategy, and I get into a little bit of everything because I love it.
And I think it's important to note that Kelsey makes all of us more passionate about social. I think for a while we were in a slump, and the second this queen came on the team, game changer. We are passionate. We're just ready. We love social, and I think a big part of that is Kelsey's energy, and we're just so lucky to have her. So we had to include her with our kickoff of Happy Hour Hustle. Kelsey, we love you.
Thanks. You're really lucky you have my ideas.
Of course. Okay, so we're going to get right into it and chat all about a social media campaign.
And how to build them.
That we need to know, and thank God Kelsey is here to tell us. So, Kelsey, I'm just going to let you take it right away. What are the first steps when creating a social media campaign?
Well, the first step is definitely knowing your goals, which to me is kind of an obvious one, but it can get muddled when you're in the thick of it. So know your goals and stick to them. Are you trying to drive product sales, brand awareness? Are you trying to just get more followers? I sucked at math in school, so I hate acronyms. PEMDAS, anyone? But when setting up your social media goals, think SMART. S for specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, relevant, and T, time-bound. Secondly, research. Do your freaking homework. It would be a huge bummer if you came up with an amazing social media campaign, got your budget approved, audiences defined, and the creatives made, only to launch your campaign and see there's a reason why that came to you so easily. Because your competitor did the same thing 2 years ago. Doing your research first is going to help you build a campaign that is not only unique to your brand and your goals, but it will give you an opportunity to do it better than your competition.
So you mentioned finding those defined audiences and really trying to target those. So how exactly do you go about finding them, targeting them, messaging to them?
Well, if you know a morsel about marketing, you already know basic research and probably have a general idea of who your audience is. Typically what goes into an audience is the age, gender in some cases, location, and interests. Once you've defined that, another really important aspect is the platform.
So how do you go about finding the right audience?
Well, finding the right audience is a little bit of a no-brainer if you know anything about marketing. And if you don't know anything about marketing, then hire us. Once you've defined your target audience, next, you need to figure out your platforms and the platforms you're trying to reach them on. This is much easier to drill down once you've done the first step. For example, if you're a skincare brand looking to target Gen Z, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat are choice platforms. Short form interactive videos and aesthetic feeds are a win.
Okay, so we've covered the basics. We have our research down, we know who our audience is. So then this is a loaded question, but how do you build a strategy? Break it down for us.
Building strategy can be a real bitch and requires some out-of-the-box thinking or thinking from somebody who's already in the box. Hi, that's us again. The first step to building your strategy is being goal-oriented, which, is why I told you to know your goals. Some examples of those goals could be trying to gain more followers, trying to generate revenue. Let's say you are trying to gain more followers. We could run a giveaway that requires participants to tag friends and follow your feed. But please pay attention to the platform's rules. Zuck can be a real dick sometimes. If you're trying to generate revenue, don't be cheap. Offer a promotional discount or freebie. Bonus points if you're trying to build your email list and you make registering for that said email list a caveat. Then put it into action. That's your creative. Make it happen. Make that shit beautiful, cool, sophisticated, or whatever your brand is. Make it visually compelling. Give your audience a reason to take action. Make sure it's telling the appropriate story while staying true to your brand's tone and voice. And don't bog down your imagery with a bunch of topography squeezed into one image. Just don't do it.
So if our listeners follow all of those rules, I'm sure they're going to have a successful campaign. But how do you measure that? How do you know if it's successful? What makes it successful? Give us all of the insight.
Well, you said the word already, measure. So hopefully you are paying attention to your measurables. It's really as simple as, did you achieve your intended results? Did your follower count increase? Did your revenue go up? And if your campaign was revenue based, what was the ROI? Did you spend an ass load of money and make only $2?
Okay, heard. So now that you've had your own experiences with social media campaigns, what were the things that you had to learn the hard way?
Well, the social media gods that be change shit every day. So there's always something new to learn, and sometimes that's learned the hard way. Another thing that I've learned is try not to overthink it and keep your copy simple. It's a skill I've gotten better at, but sometimes it can be hard to tell a story in 124 characters or less. And lastly, this is pretty specific to my role here at 834. Lean into your team. In my prior roles, I was kind of a one-stop shop for all things marketing and content creation. I was very much used to doing everything myself. I don't have to do that anymore.
And finally, obviously, there's a lot of chatter about social media management, lots of thoughts and opinions out there, but I need to hear it from the social media manager herself. What are the biggest misconceptions about social media management?
Well, prior to my role at 834, I worked primarily in-house for small businesses that maybe weren't always on the up and up of marketing. One of the biggest misconceptions I've had to overcome working with smaller businesses in-house is that social media freaking matters. And if you don't think it does, you're going to fall behind. Seriously. It's worth an investment. It is a hard job, and it's not just posting a Kardashian gif or a pretty picture. Social media touches every part of the marketing funnel. It's creative, it's copy, it's PR, it's branding. And to a certain extent, social media requires you to always be on and always be prepared for something wild to happen. Your finger constantly has to be on the pulse of newest trends, platforms, etc.
So if you don't feel like you're a social media pro after this, re-listen. You're going to need to take some notes, listen through it a few times. And honestly, I just have to say I've learned a lot from Kelsey, even just sitting here with her now. So thank you for joining us, and catch you on the download. Damn, you said what you said. Wow.